Wyatt, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you, man. How you going today?
Doing good. How are you going?
I'm very well, man. I'm very well, thank you. I'm a big fan of your work, and I'm a bigger fan of horror too. So for me to talk to you today, I'm really looking forward to it, and I appreciate you taking the time. I want to crack into the character because the character Ray, I think, what makes him so as an audience, how we're compassionate is obviously his battle with MS. So I'm interested in what your process was into not just finding about more about MS itself, but what was the one key thing that you were looking for as an actor to get right on screen with that character?
The MS was something that Bryce and I had talked about, at length. He had some contacts who had MS. Different stages are completely different from another. So it was important to us that we didn't overdo it and put him at some sort of later stage of MS where he was going to be having so much trouble that it took away from the rest of the movie, that overshadowed the scenes. It was more important that it was like newish. They were still trying to figure it out. There was still some sort of denial in there. Maybe he'll get better. Maybe he won't. We'll try these new therapies. Water therapy's good. And so, that was important that we just feathered it in there. And then the other thing that was I wanted to get right was the transitions from nice guy Ray, just trying to figure out what life is going to be like with MS and no more baseball. That got ripped away from him. He's, you're gutted when something like that happens, and how that affected the family and the family dynamic, how the family dynamic was changing with Ray's transitions. So like that's the driver of the transitions, and then I have to make sure that those transitions are done with some tact and done well. That was wanted to get that right.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I guess on the other end of the spectrum, there's the physicality of the possessed performance as well, and having to sell the fact that, like you said, you are not nice guy Ray
Right.
anymore. So, what was some of the inspirations, I guess, behind the fact, or what were you looking to really get right in the fact that I am now possessed Ray, and this is a completely different person to who we knew from an hour ago, I guess.
It was really just levels of possession and then letting them choose what level you need. So we'd always do a version that was way over the top, always do a version that was underplayed, and then a version that was like sort of somewhere in the middle, just so that they could have it, because you don't make the movie when you're making the movie. You're just putting stuff in the can. You're just putting stuff on tape, and then they make the movie again in the editing room. So that was really just trying to get the levels of possession where how far are you going to go, take it to 10, take it to 5, take it to 7, it was a lot of doing that.
Is there more fun when you do take it to 10 as opposed to 5 as an actor? Do you get to sort of lose those inhibitions a bit more? Is that something that's fun for you to do?
It's fun. I'm gonna be honest. It's getting a little tiring. Do it enough, and I've done it. God, fuck. I've died on screen with a shovel to the back of my head during
Yeah.
sex. I've lost my mind in a room where I'm losing my memory in front of our very eyes. I have
Yeah.
now been killed by a Nazi zombie. I have become possessed by a pool demon. I mean, it's getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should start thinking about doing movies where you talk a little more. Um, yeah, they're fun. Yeah, they're fun.
I'm glad to hear they're fun at least. One of the most interesting aspects I think of the making of this film is that Bryce's sort of journey over almost 10 years now from the short film to the feature film and how he's developed. So I'm more questioning it towards you as an actor as well. Is there a character or is there a movie that you have done where if you kind of got to sit on it for 10 more years, that you would be the most interested in seeing the evolution of that character or that story?
Dud. Dud from Lodge 49. That's what that story is built for. So you could see Dud at 35. You can see Dud at 45. You can see Dud at 55. You can see Dud at 75. That's the point of that story: is the abominable spirit of Dud in Lodge 49. Is something where I sort of never let go of it because it always feels like it's in the back of my head and somebody will want to do something one day. And it's created a fan base now where it's actually found an audience that was, not there when it was on AMC. No one, nobody watched it, but it was a good show, and then it went on to Hulu, and people actually started watching it. So that's a character that I always, forever. I don't like to hold on to characters, but Dud's a special one. Dud's for a lot of reasons, the people that were involved, but that one I'll sort of never let go of.
I like that. Hey, look, I'm going to start wrapping up, and I've got a bit of a hypothetical question for you, and it's to do with the idea of the pool and how the pool draws people in. If this possessed pool was in your backyard, what do you think it would show Wyatt Russell to draw it in, to get you into that pool?
God, my family, my son and my wife, and if it showed me that I could have a better life, or that I could be a better father somehow, or be more of what I thought I should be, then I'd do anything. I'd do anything for it. I'd go in that pool no matter what. It's probably the only thing that could get me in it. But knowing what happens with the pool, that's a bad idea. It's a horrible idea.
That's why it's a hypothetical. Let's just pray there's no possessed pools anywhere in the world. So that will do this to people. And look, Wyatt, like I said, I'm genuinely a really big fan of yours, man. I love your work. Everybody Wants Some was my favorite film when it came out the year it came out. So I'm a huge fan. I'm excited to see what you do next. And I hope you have a safe holidays, you and your family, man. And I hope we can talk again sometime soon.
You too. Take care. Thanks a lot.